Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, okay. Just a couple quick things. Thank you all for coming tonight. Passionate topics that are going to be spoken about. I just ask that everyone please be respectful. This is a business meeting. It's not a back and forth. We may not ask a lot of questions, but when you have your 2 minutes to speak, we are listening to you. And we want you here, we want to hear from you. But at the end of the day, we're all, everyone in this room is here for the same reason, want our kids to get the best education possible. So let's remember that. Call the meeting to order and Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Oh, that's me, sorry. I'm working, I'm sorry. Wade,
Here.
April,
Here.
Kent,
Here.
Jeff,
Yep.
Greg,
Here.
Patty's here, Eric,
Here.
thank you.
All right. Before we get into the student board report, a matter has come to my attention that I believe must be considered by the entire board and that is not currently on the agenda. I am seeking a motion from the board to add to the agenda as our last item of business, item number 13. Closed session for preliminary consideration of allegations or charges against an individual or individuals subject to the board's authority pursuant to Minnesota Statute Section 13.43, Subdivision 2B. And that meeting further be closed based upon the attorney-client privilege pursuant to Minnesota Statute Section 13D.05, Subdivision 3B. In this respect, the board also needs to meet with its attorney in a confidential setting to obtain advice regarding potential or threatened litigation resulting out of these allegations. It would be detrimental to the interests of the school district to hold a public discussion with its attorneys regarding its legal positions and strategy. I also would like to amend the agenda to add an item for consideration of action with respect to the employment of an employee. That would follow the closed session unless the board otherwise moves at that time to adjourn. At this point, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same side. Motion carries. And my battery just died. So. Okay. Okay, student board report. Do we have a student board reporter here? Caitlin? Do you want to grab the speaker? Can somebody hand her the... Thank you.
So, hello everyone. My name is Caitlin Miller, and I'm here to talk about what's going on in the school. So, traditionally, the Lancer Leos have put on the Souls for Souls shoe drive, and this year they've asked our school's student council to help out this year. It will start on Monday, November 22nd, and go through December 13th. The shoes will be collected through our flex groups, and the flex group with the most shoes collected will win a prize. And we are also planning on having a winter formal, and that is all we have, not right now. So.
All right, very good, thank you. Announcements, agenda adjustments, approval, and information dissemination. So we already did that. So move on to the board member reports. Let's start with the Wall of Excellence event. And for your information, we'll be moving the acting superintendent contract to the last item of the night. Wall of Excellence event. Anyone in the crowd at the Wall of Excellence event just a couple weekends ago? Pretty good time, right? So Brittany was there, I was there. Gosh, we had, what, 170 people, give or take? So there's a picture. It was in that fantastic community event center that we have. And if, for those of you not familiar, the Wall of Excellence event is when we acknowledge La Crescent graduates. So this year we recognized the folks who are building our schools right now, the Weezer brothers, and also Uriah Hayes, who made it to the NHL, played for the San Jose Sharks. So it was a wonderfully attended event. It's great. It was a great reminder of why we do what we do. Do you have anything to add? Brittany is actually the chairman of the District 300 Foundation. Do you have anything to add, Brittany?
Nope, it was great, and I appreciate everyone that came out and helped sponsor the event.
And it raised money, so awesome. So that is my board to report. Wade, do you have anything?
No, not at this time.
Patty?
Yes, we had a staff development, school-wide district development meeting and talked a lot about the success of the mental health first aid training that a lot of the instructors and faculty have been going through, which I think is a great initiative, and sort of building on that, how do you kind of move more of that forward? And then looking at plans for next fall and next year and that for training as well. And then there was an oversight meeting today as well, and we just talked about a number of different items that might relate and work with staff development to get, help fund things that are a little, to help the instructors prepare for ACT, to help students better, and some other things like that. So 2 really, really great meetings.
April, do you have anything?
I can give an update on the COVID committee. I'm now a member of that, and we met earlier this evening. We reviewed the current numbers in the district. We talked about, we're once again having a masks shortage, so we're ordering a bulk quantity of masks. The kids seem to lose them or forget them or go through them quickly, so we're ordering those. And then we reviewed the district, or the county numbers. They're still high right now, and looked at some of the data from the CDC site that's linked on the website. And that's it for now.
Okay. Greg, do you have anything?
I guess a little bit. I took a tour of the elementary school for facilities, and it's coming along very nicely. The gym floor will be coming down a little bit slower than we were hoping, but it's not too far behind, and everything else should be on time or a little earlier, so it's coming along nicely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Kent, do you have anything?
No, I do not.
Okay. Jeff, do you have anything? No? Okay. Okay. We'll move on now to the community input. We will start with Natasha Curtis. Thank you for coming, Natasha.
I started out this whole adventure as an angry mom of these victims. Community with stories like the mom who had to sell everything to make us to move to a safer school district. Kids begging to move. Parents of young kids planning on homeschooling because of the bullying. Teachers putting their hands on kids. It was heartbreaking and shocking to read. The girl I entrusted to the school knew who she was and never let anyone stop her self-expression. She was confident, she was brave, outgoing, made friends everywhere she went, and she was unstoppable. It took 3 months to break her, and it will take longer to bring her back. Her story of abuse in La Crescent did not start with the assault she endured. That is where it ended. Emily had profanity yelled at her daily walking down the hall. Emily got accosted trying to sit for lunch. Emily made friends who were threatened if they talked to her again. Emily had a slut campaign started against her. Emily went home and continued being bullied on social media. As she tried to stand up for herself, she was labeled a bully. Emily was followed by groups of students threatening her and had to be escorted to class a few times. Emily received threats of bodily harm, and Emily was told to go kill herself. And what was worse than the actual assault were so many students standing by watching and cheering as a girl who could not defend herself was beaten. My daughter is not perfect, and I won't pretend she is. She even pushed the girl who started the slut campaign. Kids are being bullied into violence and hurting themselves. Emily reported the bullying to Stu Smith. He said, "Isn't it like this Well, no, Steve, it's not. The stories I've heard all have a common theme. The victim or parent felt failed by Steve Smith. They felt ignored, pushed under the rug. They didn't have the right last name or connections to get help. Once you view bullying and violence as normal, you stop fighting to do better. You stop expecting your students to be better. On behalf of my family, my daughter, and so many other victims and parents, I request a public apology from Steve Smith tonight, and I recommend the board ask for his resignation. The students deserve more than he has given. New leadership is needed to bring forth great change in the school system. Thank you.
Up next is Mr. Dwayne Hanson. Again, please no personal attacks.
I am Dwayne Hanson. I'm the father of the student that was assaulted here last week. I stand before you as a father that has failed. Every father's duty is to protect their children. My daughter and stepdaughter brought evidence of a student that wanted to harm my daughter, Steve Smith. Steve Smith then proceeded to give it to the authorities. A week later, the assault happened. The school, I feel, failed me in protecting my child. This is tough. I trusted in the school system and it failed. We as parents are our first step to preventing bullying in the schools, at our homes. But it doesn't stop it. It has to be approached stronger in the schools, especially this school. There's a lot of going on. I asked Mr. Smith how many student or teacher or faculty was involved in monitoring the hallways and the lunchrooms over lunch break. He said 4. 4 people watching how many hundreds of students over a lunch period. That is not enough. That needs to be addressed and changed. Can you imagine your child being assaulted by somebody for 40 seconds with 20 students egging on the assault? No teachers around, nobody helping them. 2 weeks before, she broke her jaw in a car accident. And she's sitting on the ground, hands up, protecting her surgically repaired jaw, getting pummeled and pummeled and pummeled, wondering, why isn't anybody helping me? Where's the teacher to help me? How come nobody's going to get me help? Nobody likes her. What?
You got your 2 minutes. Thank you.
Keep that in your mind.
Emily.
My name is Emily, and up until November 10th, I was a junior at La Crescent High School. I've returned to my former school because I'm safe there. I wasn't safe at La Crescent, which is proven in the video most of you have probably seen where I was attacked. I moved in with my dad over the summer and worked as a lifeguard. I decided to stay because I liked it here. I was a new student, and people were the opposite of welcoming. A few weeks ago, I was in a car accident, and I had surgery to repair a severely broken jaw. On November 9th, I was attacked at school. I was bullied constantly by this girl. That day, I walked away from her like we are always told to do. She ran up behind me and began the assault. There were about 30 students, and not a single one stopped her. They sat and cheered while they recorded. Every single one of them knew that I physically could not defend myself. My attacker's friend finally pulled her off so that she didn't get in more trouble. She targeted my jaw from the first punch. I want to thank the 2 girls that stepped in when they saw what was going on and helped me to the office. I can't express how much this meant to me because nobody else cared. They deserve recognition in this school. This all could have been prevented if Steve Smith had listened to me when I said I needed help. A week before I was attacked, I was threatened by my attacker and told to kill myself. I reported this to Steve. We grew up being taught to trust adults, and I did that. Steve called the police, which was good, I recognize that, but then told me that she was gone and that I didn't have to worry about her anymore. That was a lie. Bullying is an issue at every school,
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Renee Crawford? Hello.
So I would like to speak to continuing violence, bullying, and harassment at the secondary school. I recently moved my family to La Crescent from Colorado. Because of that, I am very familiar with the effects that school violence have on a community. I lived there when the Columbine shooting occurred. The STEM school shooting happened right across the street from the office I worked in. 2 days ago, 6 teenagers were shot in a park near their school in Aurora, which is a suburb of Denver. Here in La Crescent, I have first-hand experience with students being victims of bigoted harassment, being spit on, and their personal property being damaged while school staff sat nearby and did nothing to stop it. I was assured that the situation was taken care of at the time. However, this misbehavior by students is continuing. Additionally, when I brought up the original incident during the recent conferences, every teacher was unaware that it happened. This tells me that solutions are not being discussed in staff meetings. Perhaps this is an effort to avoid conflict. I want to remind you that conflict in itself is not bad. It is an education we need to learn, understand, and grow. The problems begin to arise when it is not addressed. Once the students walk through the door, all of the adults in the school are responsible for ensuring their complete safety. The staff is expected to set an example of good behavior and also keep students informed what the expectations are of them. When negative situations take place and are not properly handled by adults, the unwanted behavior continues and may escalate. The recent statement of the kids are relearning how to be together is an example of the adults passing on blame. So what can be done? The students need to be engaged before it gets violent. That means the adults need to step in and provide guidance and teach conflict resolution skills. It also means that the entire student body needs to be aware that there's a safe place available for them to vent, complain, and cry, whatever they need.
Renee?
They also need to be assured that their concerns and fears are not only addressed, but resolved in a way that is acceptable to them.
Thank you. Next up, Christine Wegner.
I am not as prepared as everybody else. However, so 2 minutes, right? That's never going to be enough time. So I hope the board will consider an actual town hall meeting where there's discussion, dialogue with community members, students, and staff to hear and have conversations, not just a business meeting. I also would hope that this board will look at the policies, procedures, and help figure out ways to support administration and teachers, who then can in turn help support the students of our district. I am so excited that the district is investing time, money, and just the conversation for mental health and mental health first aid. That's significant. It's significantly needed in our community. However, we need more collaboration with the district, with the county, with the city, with everybody involved, with the medical teams. Why are we not doing team meetings and having conversations to help support kids at home? Are there basic needs being met? Do they have shelter? Do they have food? Do they have clothing? What can we do to help support everybody, not just point the finger at what the problem is? We need to come together and build that solution, and here is the board that needs to do that. So I do ask you to consider, what as a board are you going to do to help support administration, the teachers, who then in turn will help support students? Got it done, North and South.
Thank you very much. Finally, we have Megan Dick.
So my concern is a little different, but it's still due to my heart for children's safety. So thank you for this opportunity to come to you. My name is Megan Dick from Brown, and I'm a member of the Real Kindergarten. I'm here to express my concerns related to the bus safety for my child and 5 other young children at West School in Brown. Currently, there are only
report reevaluates the route to determine if there are any ways we can modify the route to pick up and drop off our children in a location so they can safely walk home. I would love the opportunity to sit down at a table with the school board's transportation safety director or the people's transportation safety committee if it's still possible, to brainstorm possible solutions. Ideally, this would include school board members, parents, or representatives from bus companies, school bus drivers, and local law enforcement. I have provided each of you with a written statement from Mark Hummer, the Houston County Sheriff, further addressing these safety concerns. Unfortunately, we cannot use this tonight, but know that you're very concerned about the safety of our young children. I know that everyone here wants their children to be safe, regardless if they are in your district or open enrolled in your district, or if they attend a public school or a non-public school. The parents of those three are requesting the school board to investigate the concerns and evaluate the situation. If there ever were an accident or something were to happen to a child while in the south, then the situation may be looked at in differently. Instructions of how you can make this safe will be made. If it were to lead for someone to be injured to address these concerns, let's be proactive and make the changes now and ensure the safety of all the children in our neighborhood now and in the future.
Ms. Megan, could you possibly sum up exactly what you were discussing?
So our bus route in Brownsville is, we have two bus stops, or two pickup stops, and we are in newer development, and on a 5-year-old, and then children on a 3 stop to walk from the ballpark to Brook Street, where the speed limit changes from 30 to 55 miles per hour. There's no sidewalk. No sidewalk, no safe. Scary. Very scary. So I'm just, it's been a problem for years, and
Okay. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Looking for a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Greg, you second. Any discussion?
Can we just pull up the donations?
Donations, yeah.
Can we take a look at those?
Mhm.
And I was gonna ask what that program is.
Ooh, look at that.
The Lancer Creative Cooperative, what is,
That's Mark's program, right?
oh, that, okay.
Yeah, so Mark in the CTE areas has started
Okay.
a kind of cooperative program. That's wonderful.
Okay. I couldn't remember what that program was.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see we've got a cook retiring after 33 years. And then Kim Chahavitz, 22 years. So sorry to see those people leave. It was Chris Johnson was the cook, is the cook. Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Review item 9A, pupil enrollment. Is Nikki here? No, there she is.
Yes, so, things were down 3 students. We had one who's in elementary, or one, gained one in the elementary, and then lost two in the middle school.
Okay. Then moving on to review item 9B, potential increased administrative oversight. Commentary by Wade Welper.
Thank you, folks, for talking this evening. It is much appreciated. I speak for my board members here. To start with, we all need to do better. My kids just graduated. I was proud to say they came through here. I can't imagine if they weren't safe at school. So we're here to talk about things tonight that maybe we can do that will be better. One thing I remember from the past is some of you folks here probably remember Rick Walter and Dave Schulte, where they were here. They kind of retired at the same time moving back. And our idea at that time for cost-saving measures was to make the principal and the athletic director one. I'm looking at this now and talking to my board members tonight because that really hasn't worked like we wanted to because of the administrative oversight we need in our schools. There's been many things said about Steve tonight. I think that's a different time. I was listening. At the same time, it's busy here, and we need more people in here, people that can focus on the children. And I would like to propose that we would move that athletic director position off of Josh and have him focus solely on being a principal and then hire that out separately. This is not a resolution to all that ails us here. It is not. It is a step in that direction to give more oversight and to look at other solutions that we can do. I think this would be a good thing. I've talked to Josh a little bit, but having an administrative oversight and having that, not having to worry about who's going to be the assistant umpire at the 7th grade game that night when you have things going on in the school. And that's why I'm here tonight to talk about that. It's not an action item, but I think it is something that we should make as an action item coming up at the next board meeting. It's one of those things we need to do, and all these little things coming together to make resolution to what we were hearing here this evening. We want all kids to be safe, and that's a step in the direction, I think, by going with this. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Wade. Patty?
Yeah. So I had some thoughts on the bullying thing, because I'm a school board member and my daughter's been bullied too. Okay? She's a gay junior, and I can tell you that's not a safe place to be very often. So I hear you from here. So some of the things that I thought of, and some of them may be happening, but I'm asking that they be at least considered and implemented, not just for now. Okay, this can't be, we're going to do this, and then we're going to stop in 3 months because we're tired of doing it. Okay. Obviously, limiting access to the hallways and areas of concern. Shouldn't have free reign of the school. I didn't have free reign in this building. When I went to school here, hallways were blocked off. I know it's been 30 plus years, but it doesn't matter. Keep them out of areas where they can't be watched. Okay, it's a very simple thing. We need more people monitoring. 4 isn't enough. It cannot just be Steve. And even with Josh, it can't be Steve and Josh. Okay, there's gotta be more teachers out there. I don't care if we have to pay them. I'm fine giving them a stipend, because I gotta tell you, that's a lot less worry than having someone hurt or beat up or being bullied. All right, I'd much rather pay teachers to stand there if I have to. Maybe we look at having, when I was a kid, we had student guards. I don't know if anyone else remembers that went to school here. We had students who took on that role every day at lunch. They were trained on how to handle it with other students. They stood in the hallways to watch what was going on. They had walkie-talkies to call for help if they needed it. It was a privileged position when I was in school here, and I don't know why we don't have that kind of thing again. The next step is, I fully believe, I was a high school teacher. My dad taught here many years, so I believe in educators, but I do believe that our educators and instructors here have to be reminded how to step in. Because I'm sorry to say, there's bullying that does happen in classrooms. I know instructors don't want it to happen, but I don't always know that they know how to step in and stop it. And I don't know if they always have the capacity, because they're overwhelmed as it is. But something has to change there, because I'd love to tell you it's only in the classroom, or it's only in the hallways. It's not only in the hallways. So to me, something needs to happen with faculty, either getting help or training, or in some way being updated on how do they step into these situations and handle it, and see what's going on. Obviously, we do a lot of stuff with bullying. My kids have been in it, right? Little sessions, it's all talked about. That needs to continue happening. But I will tell you, I did not know that there was an online bully form. So my son graduated last year. I have a junior, and I have a 5th grader. And I just learned, having been on the board now for 2 years, I just learned a couple weeks ago that we have an online bully form. How many of you guys know that there's an online bully form? All right. So if they don't know, their kids don't know.
Right.
Right? So that needs to be known, right? Because if you're a kid being bullied, but you're too afraid to walk into the office because someone will see you doing it, you can do it online. You can do it another way. But if they don't know, they're not going to do it. Yes, it is monitored, right? And then I will add on to the idea of a town hall. I'm perfectly fine doing that.
I think
A
that's
town
something
hall.
that we can, I think that's something that we can put together. It's certainly a hot button topic, so.
And I appreciate you guys listening. I'm sorry, passionate on this one for me hits home.
Well, I mean,
So-
we're all parents, and nobody wants to see your kid, get bullied. I mean, so, yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah. So what happens now, Eric? How do any of these things move forward?
Well, we will post we'll figure, I mean, this all came up in 3 days, 2 days. We'll figure out how to take the athletic director responsibilities off of Josh as quickly as possible. And I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, but you're blind if you think it's only came up in 2 days.
No, what I'm saying, it took
It's
two.
been going on a very long time. I know the physical altercation is different. That has come up more recently. Everything is more recent. This has been going on for years.
So my 2-day comment is, we will figure out how to get 2 whole principals here as quickly as possible. Then we'll figure out the athletic director position. We'll do some town halls. We'll definitely continue on with the mental health, trauma-informed, all that stuff. And we'll
Mr.
just take it
Chairperson,
piece by
I would-
piece, yes.
And to address the crowd with this too, by law, if we can have another meeting, if we give 3 days' notice, and there's numerous times we have done that, it might be appropriate for us to look at doing that here again very soon, to address the concerns on a separate type of meeting. So, just to address what I think the very concerned parents are saying, sir. So I think that might be a good way to go, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Moving on to action item 10A.
So Eric, can I
Yes.
make a comment too on the same topic?
Please, go
Okay.
ahead.
So I very much support the recommendation or suggestion to add an additional principal level for the middle school. That's a full-time role. We need more adults visible in this building. And I will tell you, I ran for the school board a year ago. No one runs for the school board because they're happy with what's happening. I have a 5th grader who at the time was in elementary school and gets picked on all the time. It's generally the same kids, and most often teachers can tell you who those kids are. So I get it. I heard you. Emily, thank you for telling your story. We need more adults visible for the kids in this school.
I'll volunteer.
I think a forum for parents to volunteer and sign up on times and dates would be something that we'd be more than happy to do.
I mean, I think there's things we can do. My mom teaches at Winona State. She teaches social work classes. They're always looking for places for those students to intern, to come and do, put in hours, big brother, big sister type situation, just so they have adults around. When I was in school, we also had the hall monitors still. It was normally seniors, wrestlers. They sat in chairs. They sat in cute wrestlers. They sat in chairs at the end of the hallways, same hallways that are still here, and you could not go past that. You could talk to them, you could not go past them. And I love that suggestion, but just more visible people. It cannot be Steve all the time. Both my boys are in this school. I ask them, who is there at lunch that are adults? It's always Steve. Steve cannot do this alone. Thank you.
Yes, Ken.
Yeah, I'd like to comment. First of all, thank you very much for bringing this to our attention, okay? And this type of behavior cannot continue and be allowed. Obviously, what we need are more adult supervision. I don't think that, if I was to put myself in a teacher's place, that putting more upon them or more upon the current administrators is reasonable, given the gravity of all that's going on in our personal lives and the lives of our community and the lives of our nation. And so, hiring more adults, whether they're just hall monitors, they don't necessarily need to be paid teachers, because that's a very, you're paying a lot for someone and taking away from their time to prepare adequately for teaching, the job that we're paying them to do. So, the other thing I would like to say, I know Steve personally, okay, and I can honestly say that this guy busts his tail to try to do the very best job that he can for everybody's students, and I think the burden that our district has placed upon him is too much. And so I would agree that, we need to bring in, a middle school principal to help be more supportive of him. But this guy has a degree in counseling and worked for years with young people, troubled young people. He had a real heart for the alternative learning center that we had for a number of years, and really did his best to make sure that each one of these children had the best opportunity that they possibly could. So just on his behalf, I know sometimes there's personal conflict and people don't always, they feel let down, but I think in his defense, I think he does an outstanding job, and we've just put too much on his shoulders. So that would be my take on it.
All right,
Thank you.
Jeff, do you have any? Nothing? Okay. All right, so, moving on. Action item 10A, Resolution 21.05, Form A, Minnesota State High School League Foundation Grant. So this is a grant for, our athletic director is not here, but it's a grant that I was told we've never submitted for before, but when you have free and reduced lunch students, all of their athletic, like their Chromebooks and their athletic dues and different things will be provided for by the state. And we don't have a high number. There's a lot of people who either they're too proud or they don't want to take the time to figure it out. We have a lot of people that would qualify, but they just don't fill it out, and that's fine. So what this does, this grant helps to equalize that. So I am asking for a motion to approve this grant, applying for this grant.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Is there any further discussion? Any further discussion? Not hearing any further discussion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. So, whoever figured this out, good job. I guess it might as was who brought this? Or was it Nicole? Well, whoever. Good work. All right, action item 10B, agreement between School District 300 and Education Minnesota, La Crescent. So, is there anyone that, I guess our superintendent would normally talk about this, so we came to an agreement with our certified staff. Wade, can you remind me what?
It was, well, this is the contract that we're agreeing to. It was, I think, one of the best negotiations we've had.
Okay.
I think it was agreed upon unanimously, and
Wow.
it's a testament to us working together with the teachers and moving forward as well. So
Great.
it was very good. I would say it's a very good contract to approve.
Okay. So long and the short of it is the certified staff, which is the teachers, agreed to their new contract, and we do not have to do anything for 2 more years.
Correct.
All those in favor of accepting or ratifying this agreement, please
Need a
signify.
motion. Motion. So moved.
I second.
All right, any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none. Motion carries.
Many thanks too to the staff and to the people that worked on that. That's a lot of work.
Yes.
Forgive me for my rudeness, but I just think it's important to state that just like every good family has rules stated at their home and they're known by the children, a consequence for physical violence should be stated and known by not only the adults, but the children. And I think that's a good deterrent. I mean, you know that if you do something wrong, you get a timeout. That's actual consequence, and they're old enough to understand that, and it might take, it will allow them to understand that there is a consequence, and we know what it is, because it's stated.
Okay. News from the classroom. Education Minnesota report.
Skip C.
Ready, you want me to come up there?
It moved down.
You can
Okay.
grab the,
He moved it down. Yeah.
Kent, you want to grab the mic for her?
Can't, we shouldn't really
Well, can everybody hear me?
There we go.
Got a
Boom.
teacher voice. So those that do not know me, I'm the Minnesota rep. I'm Mr. Braun, one of the high school social studies teachers here, so it's an honor to be in front of you. I was glad to hear that this was enjoyed last time. So we're going to keep bringing this to you guys. So news from the classroom, just bringing you a little bit of our life, what we deal with every day with the kids. It's the best part of what we do. So we want to just bring that out with you. A few things about parent-teacher conferences. They went really well. It was great to see you all in person again. I get that it's difficult for everyone to be able to be here, but turnout was pretty normal. I myself had about 20 parents, families come in, which was fantastic. It was great to have those talks. But again, please continue to reach out. We're here for your kids, so reach out to us as well. So, as per usual, the elementary school completely outdid the middle and high school with the pictures that they shared, but it's wonderful. It's always fun to see. Mrs. Fritz always doing some really fun things. School garden, so the kids are getting out and about. They're learning how to garden, and again, as you can see, they're having a great time doing it. So again, Mrs. Fritz, like I just said, class musical instruments. I mean, how can you not have fun looking at that? And then Mrs. Bjornstad. Bjornstad also great. Third grade classes build their own instruments. It's fun getting them working with their hands, being creative. Then Miss Stump's first grade, again, doing a lot of fun stuff. It'd be really fun to take high schoolers to Pumpkin Patch too. But Ferguson's apple orchard, picture days, grilled garden lesson. It was fantastic. People were excited to get outside, be able to take their mask off with their nice smiles. And then Mrs. Reese, classroom presentation on Diwali by Pooja Mehta. Sorry if I butchered that last name. That's always difficult. With that said, it's fun to try to collaborate with people from different backgrounds, different lifestyles. We can teach that to our kids so we can kind of bring a glimpse of what the world is like beyond the present. And then finally, elementary students attended middle school play, Singing in the Rain. I heard it was absolutely fantastic. Sadly, I didn't have the opportunity to see it, but nothing but resounding positive feedback. Oh, sorry, there's a little bit more. So haunted house arrays, obviously always fun to celebrate some spooky type things and with holiday themes. Kids are having a great time with that as well. Family consumer science class, again, trying to get the kids working with their hands, working with things that they will see in everyday life. So as you guys can see in the bottom left there in Foundations of Cooking, learned how to make soup, create their own soup recipe. Something fun that you might not know is this was also shared in the staff lounge for staff members to try and vote on, which is very fun. I'm sure it's not surprising to you, but the kids will get a little bit intense about who you vote for. In 7th grade facts, students made an emoji face. They practiced the hand sewing skills. They learned to sewing on buttons, blankets, straight stitch. So again, get the question all the time, Mr. Brown, when am I going to need this in real life? Well, there you go. 7th graders. 7th graders own the class economy system. Again, we're trying to put that learning into practice. And then finally, take note, news from the choir room, Rotary Lights, 7:30 December 7th, senior high choir. Winter concert, date format to be determined, 7th, 8th, senior high choir. New group, extracurricular, pop, jazz choir. We got some new clubs going on. We're trying to create as many opportunities as we can for our kids. And then AP Stats, complete a sample survey project. This is always really fun for the students, or the teachers, because the kids get to try to quiz us. And we get the opinions from the students as well. So most 6th graders, they get to school by either bus or car. So honestly, it'd be good for parents, family members to get to know this kind of stuff, the demographics. Most 6th graders, time to get to school is about 6 to 10 minutes, and 11 to 15 minutes. That's roughly 50% of the population. Most 6th graders, arrival time was 7:31 to 7:45, 65%. And then finally, most 6th graders got home by bus, roughly 40%. But again, feedback, that's always important because that's something that we can discuss amongst the staff. And then 7th, 8th grade art students, paper mache inspired by Claes Oldenburg, and then Alberto Giacometti, sorry. Again, just brutalizing the names here. But really fun stuff. One thing that's really fun about that classroom is it's open. It's referred to as the fishbowl. Bless your heart, Mrs. Greener. But again, really, really fun stuff going on in there. But again, it's happening all over the place. Really fun stuff. A lot more creative than me, you can tell. So, other exciting art news. Congrats to Peace Poster winners from 7th grade. Thanks to Lions Club for hosting another lovely awards evening. Check out the artwork display in the middle school halls and outside the high school art room. Always good to express our gratitude for other people. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Like a buff Richard Simmons. Butch buff Richard Simmons.
He looks a lot better in those clothes now. Yeah.
That was great. Okay. Administrator reports. Let's start with Steve Smith.
Yeah, Patty, thanks for sharing some of those ideas. I do want to say that one of the things that we have done already is during that lunchtime reduce the number of hallways that people have access to, and I appreciate that in knowing that I had a conversation earlier. There aren't a lot of administrators that are on lunch duty, but we're not doing it out of what I feel is necessity. Josh and I both feel that that's an opportunity for us to be in the kids outside the office or be with the kids outside the office. So, but it's not alone. I know Ms. Hawk is here, and she has the also the duty of lunch supervision for this semester, and that is something we rotate. I also shared some things I think with the board that the reality too is as we have added more classes to our teachers' load so that they teach an additional class, that takes people away from supervision, takes people away from duty, and we've gotten by thin there. I think we have, and I think it's something we need to look at. I think this spring would be a great opportunity, and I understand that the job market is tight, but I think if we post for some of those part-time positions, then if we do get them, that can help, certainly in that area too. With that, I also want to comment on a couple things here that I think are going to be board items coming up. And one is Mark Moulton has been doing a lot of work on the curriculum there with the CTE. And so we're going to be revamping those classes into more career pathways and go on the construction side and the manufacturing side. And so he's in the process of kind of finalizing those things. I asked if he would be able to present to the board to, so we can kind of see. And that's a big deal, as we move from changing some of those classes from what they traditionally have been for the last 20, 30 years into something that's more aligned with what industry would, appreciate for that as well. Josh is not here. He's on a school visit with his daughter, but his items are posted there for your review too.
Thank you. Mr. Kopp.
I confess I forgot what I wrote here, so scroll down. There's always a garden lesson. I want to highlight that as well. Appreciate that. We've got new grass that's, new areas of mud for kids to play around. They do drag some of that into the school, unfortunately, but yeah, the site is taking shape. The school is being built around us. Here's some progress. The roof of the new future main entry, the secure entry, which is going to be so important. That's where you'll come in. It'll be a safe place for visitors to check in. And so, yeah, the gymnasium and that main entrance are the last spots to be completed. This is already outdated. There are ball hoops that have been installed in the past couple days in the future main gymnasium. So that's going to be outstanding to have 4 gymnasiums district-wide to have that asset for our entire community. I think it's something we all look forward to. Should be completed in the next month and a half or so, and we can't wait. Is that it? Okay. Appreciate hearing the comments, and we care about kids, and I just want you to know that that I stand with Mr. Smith. He's been a mentor of mine, and it's hard to hear some of that criticism, but I want you to know that we hear you. Thank you.
Beth Thies.
Let's see here. Is
Or
this one on?
choose one.
Is this one on? I don't really need a microphone most times, but had a great time at the end of October. Got to go learn with my colleagues from across the state in the Minnesota Community Ed Association Annual Conference. Community education is a great asset to districts across the great state of Minnesota, and I've been taking lots of notes about the great ideas about town hall meetings, and look forward to coordinating with people in the community to be able to help the board host some of those. Would be great. Our fall and adult and youth enrichment class catalogs got out in the mail, and hopefully you all received them. We've had some great numbers, people coming back out to participate in our classes. And just want to say a huge thank you to Sean Weiser at Weiser Brothers for working with us being preschool and kids company, to install the new gym lobby floor while we are on break on Wednesday the 24th, instead of closing off access to the banks of bathrooms and entrances in our wings. So huge thanks to them and we're excited to be able to use the main door again. Life is looking up when it comes to construction getting wrapped up at the elementary school. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Beth. All right, the next item on the agenda is the board's review of preliminary allegations or charges against an individual or individuals subject to the board's authority and consultation with legal counsel regarding pending or threatened litigation. The open meeting law allows a meeting to be closed for the preliminary consideration of allegations or charges against an individual subject to its authority pursuant to Minnesota statute, section 13.43, subdivision 2B. The open meeting law also allows a meeting to be closed based upon the attorney-client privilege pursuant to Minnesota statute, section 13D.05, subdivision 3B. In this respect, the board also needs to meet with its attorney in a confidential setting to obtain advice regarding potential or threatened litigation against the board pertaining to these allegations or charges. It would be detrimental to the interests of the board to hold a public discussion with its attorney regarding its legal positions and strategy. Pursuant to the laws I have cited, I will entertain a motion that this meeting now be closed for the purposes stated.
Excuse me, before you do that, I was wondering, I agree with you, spring's too late. Can we set a timeline we've got some great ideas here, social work majors from Winona State, parents. Can we set a timeline, a new administrator? Do we have any idea how long it would take to implement this stuff?
Well, I would hope that by the next board meeting, we'll have contract language and whatnot for both principals to be in place. As far as the AD, I think a lot of that work has already been done by Josh for the winter sports, but I think we can get somebody in there, and I know that's not what we're talking about, but that's part of the equation. I think that we could get town halls started with the community within weeks.
I think everybody would like to know how quickly we can start to do something.
I mean, is everyone available the second Wednesday of December? I'm kidding, but I mean, let's plan on getting something together. Look for okay, here we go. Look for communication from the district
Well, to be honest, I taught here for a long time. You can only be in one spot at once. I mean, if you try to watch this whole school, it's hard to do. You can be at one end or at the other, and some kid gets elected, does something dumb, and you're not there. That's a hard thing to pin on, and over work staff. I mean, that's really easy to say, but we need more people here.
Parents want to help.
Yes, so that's what I'm talking about. When can we start?
I'll stand in the girls' bathroom for a couple hours a week.
Okay, I won't.
Well, God bless you. So, hold on. So, okay.
Mr. Chairperson, December 1st is a Wednesday that's usually open. That would be in 2 weeks. We could have that advertised out to set up a meeting at that time.
Okay. We will tentatively try to have a town hall meeting on Wednesday, December 1st.
That is correct.
At an appointed time. We will send out an email. We'll get an email out this week. Beth, maybe you can help with organizing that, and we will get the ball, we'll get the ball rolling. Well, we have open, I'm sorry? we're already advertising. We're underneath.
Why don't we go one step further and say, if a child, I don't care what grade they're in, if you are caught bullying, threatening, you are immediately either suspended or B, you are put in detention, or you will have to have, like we did when we did this when I was in school, if we threatened someone, we had detention or we sat in a classroom by ourselves to do our homework.
I'm sure there's consequences, right?
But does everyone know the consequences?
Well, and you know what? We will get that on Wednesday, December 1st, okay?
Say, call it to order.
But we need to move into closed session.
I have one more suggestion.
Yes, Kent?
Yeah, so, sorry, I'm not very technical. Thank you very much for bringing that idea also as your concern as far as the busing. Yes. The safety of the child. My suggestion would be, we've had this come up a number of times over the years, and my suggestion would be to get their names, to give to Brittany, and if we can have ready, the bus company meet with these people within a week to get this resolved so that it's safe for this child or these children. Yeah, they've done that before, and they've worked very hard at,
They have not been very helpful so far.
and you've talked to them.
I've talked with them. I've talked with them.
Okay, then that needs to happen.
And it's very frustrating. I've talked with Eric Martinez before he,
Okay.
October 5th. and
Yeah.
then-
Okay,
Well, and then I've talked with Eric, and I've talked with Redbus multiple times, and they have repeatedly said that they have no say in it, but yet they have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, they do.
And they will have it taken care of.
If I could chime in on this, because we had this conversation before, because I remember Kevin went down to Brownsville.
Right.
The issue was where we could turn around safely, but that doesn't mean, maybe something's changed in that time, we have to reevaluate the situation to see.
4 years ago.
Yeah, exactly, so I think it's time to look again.
I mean, kids move away, so
Yeah.
we have 2 bus stops. There's one kid that flies on one bus stop, and then there's 20 on the other one. I think we have solutions, but we have to sit at a table and talk.
Yes.
Yes, and I think we can look that up.
And that needs to happen soon.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm from Caledonia, so I don't want them going there, so we want to stay there. They can make fun of me the next meeting, all right.
And on that note, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make a motion.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All right, we'll now move into closed session. Please vacate the room.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We get a time limit. I mean, I don't know. To get that stuff in, because I like all your ideas. I feel like it just kind of got brushed to the side.
Yep.
I think we need a committee. Let's put together a
Yeah, we
committee.
gotta do something.
Do we need a separate committee
I
on
mean,
this?
we need a, I think we can. Teachers know as teachers, but God, come up with some solutions.
As far as the monitoring, but at the same time, I like the idea of having teachers have conflict resolution training, because it also happens in the classroom.
Stop talking so much.
It does. It does.
Can we shut the microphones off for this closed session? Can we shut them? Thank you.
Well, we can, want to head down to, we can hang out in my office and watch the cameras and just get it done. Is this something that we I think so. You guys,
Yeah, just let her know, and then we can talk. Nicely done.